All right, so now I'm going to walk through on how to set up meeting pages. So much like sending a one-off calendar invite to your leads in the lead view, you can set up a meeting page and allow your prospects to visit that personalized URL, put their information in, and schedule a time at their convenience for open slots. And you can use that personalized link on your email signatures. You can send prospects to that link or use it as part of a sales funnel. So to do that, you're going to come over here to Controls. You're going to click on Templates. You're going to click on Meetings. And on the right hand side, you have an option to create a new meeting page. So on the meeting page, you have the internal name. So this is just for you to organize. You have the type, which is either one-on-one or a group session. If it's one-on-one, any time slot they select will get removed from the options for the next person that comes in. And then group, it'll allow multiple people to choose the same time that you have. And then data form. So this is important whenever you're creating workspaces for your data forms. And I mentioned in previous videos on how assets that use those data forms inherit the workspace. So in this case, if I were to select a data form that's associated with a workspace, this meeting page will actually be assigned to that workspace. Inherit. Anybody that comes through will also be assigned to that workspace. One thing I like to do is actually create a data form specifically for the meeting page. In this case, I have two data forms, one for import, one for CTA for embedding out there on external websites. So I'm going to go over there real quick and I'm going to create a data form specifically for this meeting page or for meeting pages. And so I'm going to go back over to Templates, Data Forms. And here I have those two data forms, and I know one of them has pretty much all the data that I want to collect on my meeting pages. So I can easily just clone this, and I'm going to go ahead and select Wayne Enterprises or Industries as the workspace, and I'm going to change this to meeting page. And select that and hit clone. And so what this is doing is it's cloning all the fields. So all the fields that I set up prior, everything that it did is that, but it's assigned to this particular data form. So now that I have this data form set up just for meeting pages, I am going to go back to Templates, click on Meetings, and here I'm going to create my first meeting page. So first meeting page, I'm going to make this one-on-one, and I'm going to select that new meeting page data form that I just set up and hit add. That's going to show up in your table. You can either click on the edit icon or directly into the actual meeting page link or name here. And so you're presented with a ton of different options. Before you do the description and the confirmation page and all this stuff over here, I do a quick little configuration real quick and take the preview link and go out there and look at it. So here on this right hand side, you can change your type at any moment. Your time zone is default to what your time zone is in your profile, but you can certainly change the time zone of the meeting page. Your logo, so grab whatever logo that you want to use. I'm going to go ahead and grab this one. Confirmation link, so anybody who fills out this data form on or books a meeting on your meeting page, you can send them to anywhere you want them to go. Maybe a payment page, maybe some other page, doesn't matter. You can redirect them anywhere you want them to go to. Also invite name. So by default, this is going to send out as Bruce Wayne with my email address and my user profile. However, I can change the invite name to something else, and I can change the invite email to whatever I want. Meeting duration, so you have 15, 30, 1 hour, 30 minutes is default. And then you can pick your availability. So in this case, I could say I'm available on Monday and I want to be available from, let's say 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And then on Tuesday, I only want to be available from 2:30 p.m. to, let's say, 5 p.m. And I'll just say Thursday, and we'll do 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Okay, so now I have at least enough information to go look at my profile page, or at least my meeting page. To get your link, you go back to Templates, Meetings, and you have your little link right here in the table. Just click that icon right there, hit copy, and now you can go out to your meeting page and you can start seeing what it looks like. So as you can see, the first meeting page, that's what the name is. So whatever you name, this is what shows up. You have the duration of the meeting. You have the calendar over here for the days that you're available. So for instance, we said we're only available Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So if I click on Monday the 23rd, I'm presented with 8 a.m. all the way to 2:30 p.m. And of course that data form to fill out to pull the lead data in. So one thing here, they can change the user, the person who, the prospect or lead who's coming to your meeting page can come in here and change their time zone. So it defaults the time zone that you've set, obviously, but they can change their time zone. It'll do all the offsets and everything that is needed when they schedule, and as well as change the times here. So, you have 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. If I were to change this to Eastern time, everything would show 9 a.m. So for instance, if I change this to, let's say New York, and then now everything is 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., right? Or if I go back to Central, to Chicago, got to search city, now everything is back to what it was standardized on Central. So all the other options is basically configuring what you see here. So for example, your first section here, description, this is what the meeting is about. So you can put whatever you want here, and that'll alter here. If you do not have a confirmation link, it'll redirect them to a page within here. It basically just removes all this and has whatever you want it to say. So I'm going to say, awesome for meeting you. And then calendar invite details. So when you fill out this form or schedule a meeting, it's going to send an email with a section in there about meeting details. Because right now we don't have integration into G Suite, and we're wrapping up integration into Office 365 Calendar, and then of course Zoom integration. You're going to have to provide a invite details here. So for instance, if I wanted to do a Zoom meeting, I could put in here, we're going to Zoom details to follow right before the meeting, or I can put in the actual personalized Zoom URL. It just gives some instructions, or I'm going to call you that you want that person to know when they get this meeting invite, where this meeting is going to take place and how it's going to take place. So in this case, I'm just going to put, we'll call you directly. Next is CSS override. So you may want to override the design of this page so you have full access to the CSS. So if you have CSS experience, you can throw in whatever CSS you want, and that'll change up this design however you like. Completely manipulate this to look any way you want. So everything is pretty much set up to where I can actually now submit, and I'll walk through that process of what that looks like. So let me go ahead and hit refresh. I'm going to go ahead and select the 23rd, and let's just do 1 p.m. And I am going to add a new lead. This lead that I'm going to add, actually I have a alias on so we can see what that email looks like to my Bruce email. So I'm going to do VickyVale. Let's do Vicky.Vale at WayneIndustries.live. Let's go. And Wayne Industries. So now when I hit schedule now, what this is doing is sending out a meeting invitation to Vicky. It's sending out a meeting invitation to myself. It's redirecting to whatever redirect page you want it to go to. And of course your thank you information that you put in. And the email that it looks like when it's sent is, this went to Vicky Vale, although it's showing in my email is because I set up an alias to send Vicky Vale. So Vicky Vale sees this, sees the meeting details, sees the time and the time zone that's associated with the actual call, the meeting details, personalized info, and then of course they can go back out to the page to look at it. Once they accept this, it shows up on their calendar, but they can accept it as well to give you, your response. And it'll show who the organizer is. So I mentioned earlier, you have the configuration here for invite name and invite email. That's where you're configuring here. And again, it also sends out to both, both parties, so it shows up on both calendars. So it doesn't have the native integration to Gmail or G Suite Calendar or Google Calendar and Office 365 Calendar, but it is sending a iCal invite, and so that automatically goes on their calendar, and of course they can accept it or decline it, and of course it goes on your calendar as well. And then you just put in the meeting page details of what you're going to do for that meeting. And so once that's set, now when you come into your leads, of course you get the notification that someone has filled out the form. So here's Vicky, just came in through your meeting page here. So when you go into this lead, so it came off of your meeting page, and then when you come into your task, you now show that I have a call with Vicky Vale at 1:30 p.m. or 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on May 23rd. So it automatically is put onto your back end for task. It sends an invite. It adds a new lead. So if you have any cadences or anything set up for automation drip, you have that. And of course, you can click on the calendar mode and see all your options for your calendars and your invites and everything like that. So everything is set up once they go through that meeting page to show directly here.